Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's OpenONU Go call. Thanks for joining. As usual, the call is public and recorded and will be shared live on YouTube. So please be mindful of the comments you make and the information you share. It will be public. So the first element is that I had an action item to check with Radisys what was the possible outcome of rebooting the OLT and when the ST01 was not working, and they tried rebooting the OLT, but it wasn't enough. It's clearly just a physical ONU reboot that is working. The ONU stays in activating state even after the OLT reboot. I did go and try and talk to Zircom about this. I sent an email, and we're progressing there. I got a reply, just maybe not fast enough. I need to maybe ping them again, but we're gonna get somewhere, and it's definitely not something that could be considered our fault. So it's good to know. Okay. On the next one, the software update wrong indication. Michael, I know you're working on this. Do you want to give us an update?
Yes, there are two bug reports concerning this, supplied by Thorsten, who started these tests. One is referring to problems when we try to use a wrong URL in the download command. We had a Slack discussion on that, where I indicated that the ONU adapter indicates some immediate error in the according RPC. So the proposal in this discussion is to use this error indication in RW core and void control to indicate that there was some problem and to show that the according download request was aborted. I think Salman is included in this discussion, but I haven't seen some response from him yet. The other point refers to problems when trying to download images with a different name. It doesn't matter from the same URL, or I think the test is using the download with a different name from the same URL. Here, some things really have to be improved in the existing code, and that's where I'm currently working at.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks. What's the issue with the same name? I haven't got that. A different name, sorry.
There are two different points in this respect. The first one is that when such a download is tried, then without activation and without commitment, then at the end of the download, there is no indication that, and also no test that the image that was downloaded to the ONU is really that really has the name that was requested in the download command. That's because the normally used OMSI messages don't include that in that stage of processing, and that's why some explicit extensions have to be introduced here to check that name that is part of the image itself. And the second one is that I think if you do that twice, then the behavior is still a little bit different. The problem was in this case when you do a download with the when you do the download without activation and commitment, then of course the process stops before the activation and commitment, but the upgrade processing is still active and waiting for the next commands. And if you issue on that point, if you issue a new download command, then this has the effect that the current upgrade processing is aborted, but the new request is not immediately started. So yeah, that's something that needs to be improved.
Okay, thanks. That's a very comprehensive analysis. Appreciate that. And yeah, I think you're gonna work on it, and there's gonna be no major issue on having this done. So good things, and good we have the tests for this. So thanks a lot to Torsten for doing those. Okay. Any question for Michael on this topic? No? Okay. Then if not, the next topic is another one that we have since a long time. So there was a request to Adtran to test the extended PM counters on their ONUs. Holger did it. Holger, do you want to give us your results?
Yeah, because I was absent for some weeks, I don't use exactly background, but what I did was a normal upstream downstream test with our ONU 611 with Adtran OLT adapter and so on in Volta environment. And I saw package and octet counters increasing accordingly to the data rate, which were infused into the system by the traffic generator. And I also checked the log and saw no error indications from the PM. So the question is, Girish, do you had a chance to have a look into the log, or do you see any problems with this? From the outside, it looks okay for me.
No, Holger, I haven't yet looked at logs. I will check and let you know.
And what was your idea, or what was your afraid, or what was you afraid about? What could be the problem with these counters?
Okay. No, we have seen some ONUs not reporting the counters at all, or probably some ONUs don't support the uni PPTP uni attachment point. So I wanted to make just verify the behavior with the Adtran ONUs.
Okay, that seems when you see the UDP counters, that is already the finding or the result you wanted to have or wanted to see, right?
No, I haven't checked the logs that you shared, but as long as the counters are reflecting the traffic that you're sending, that should be good. But I look into the logs in detail and let you know if I find something is not right.
Yeah.
It seems to be fine by me, Grish.
Okay.
I think they were fine, and I sent them also to Himani, and she said that they're good as well. So my take is that this point should be we could call this concluded.
Sounds good.
Except for the Jira with a very low priority to change the protos, but that is I think that's for another time, not really 100%.
What was that?
There is the Jira that we wanted to have the maximum counters to show the operator that the traffic was the counter was not reported. Okay, good.
I had a request, not a request. I mean, there was a question from Bjorn asking if we can fetch the counters per uni. I mean, it was not a request. I mean, it was just trying to understand what we support. I mean, we accumulate the counters across all the uni ports, but he was just trying to understand if we support querying the counters on a per uni basis. Just wanted to let you guys know. I mean, the change to do that should be very minimal. If we have time in this release frame, maybe we should try and do that.
Yeah, that could be a good one. Okay.
Girish, perhaps just to don't forget this, was there or is there a JIRA for the point that we were discussing some time ago, that we also wanted to introduce some indication whether the counters are from the 64-bit collection or from the 32-bit collection? Is there a JIRA for that, or should we still create some?
No, I don't think there's a JIRA for that. So probably I have lost context. So just for my understanding, so in the counters that we report, you need some field that indicates it's a 32-bit or a 64-bit. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. It's just for having the possibility to interpret these counters in case they are running over the 32-bit boundary.
Yeah, that's a good point. Andrea, probably can you create an item for that and mark me
Yes.
money for that? That should be fairly simple to do.
Okay. Anything else on the counters?
Another small enhancement, a facility to reset the counters. That's also good to have, but I will mark it as future. But if someone has bandwidth and can achieve, let's do it in 2.9.
Maybe whenever next time Himani's on the call, we can try and ask her if she can do a couple of these.
Okay.
Okay. Anything else? No? Okay. Then the next topic was the multi-UNI support. Mahir delivered the patches to fix the issue with the same subscriber that we saw. The patches underwent testing by Hardik, and the latest version of those patches is actually working very well. So what we're going to do is that we're going to merge those in the upcoming hours. There was a small comment by Michael, but I think Mahir looked at it and mentioned the fact that the entry is actually used, so the check was left there. I'm fine merging as is, unless there are some reservation from you, Michael, that the check is really taking away a lot of time and effort and it's not needed at all.
Yeah, I have to look into the changes again then.
Okay, then I will let you take a look and reply to Mahir. As soon as we have done that, I think we can just go ahead and merge the patch. So we can then also what we're going to do is also we're going to backport the change to 2.8. Mahir is already working on that, has already a patch up. for 2.8. I've asked Hardik to try them out and make sure that they work. I will also possibly try them with Hydropod. Maybe I'll ask Girish to do that while I'm on vacation. So effectively what we're going to do is we're going to remove this known issue from the 2.8 release, which is really good. I think that's about it on this topic, unless Mahir, Michael, do you have anything more that is needed here?
I don't have any other comments, Andre.
Okay. Michael, do you have anything more on this one?
No, nothing to add.
Okay, sounds good. Then let's proceed with this. As soon as this is resolved on the patch, the few comments on the patch are resolved, we can go ahead and just merge it. I'll take care of that. And whenever that is done, and Mahir, you push the updated version on 2.8, I will also merge that one, and I will create the patches to release this on the Helm charts. So that is done as well.
Okay.
Okay, perfect. Then we can consider this. Effectively, this topic is done, which is really good because we got one of the few things that was as a known issue in the 2.8 release out. Okay, perfect. Okay, then there was a discussion on Slack about unknown elements, parsing and discarding those by just saying we don't care more than we only care about this amount of information. Michael, Chip, do you want to tell the group what was that about?
Yeah, I think this originally came up from a bug from the code generation for one of the Ethernet OEM MEs that the ONU creates. There were some attributes that basically they describe two attributes on the same line. So the attribute mask was incorrect when it was code generated. And so that led to a discussion on how do we handle future versions of either MEs being found, which of course we handle those with the unknown MEs, but also what about existing MEs that have attributes added due to a ITU update of the OMCI spec. And for example, like in the recent spec, Amendment 3, which is March of 2020, they actually added two attributes to the extended VLAN table. So, but of course, in the future, other ones could of course be added, or perhaps a vendor actually adds their own, outside of the standard. I don't think there's a way that we can handle attributes added to existing MEs unless we actually have an update to the decode library. And it comes down to, if you do get a unknown mask, well, how do you know how you don't know how large it is within the received frame? And this would probably be mainly a problem just on BIP uploads, because otherwise most operations are under the control of the ONU device adapter. So I think that the two things, one thing is I've actually upgraded all of my MEs to the latest March 2020 version of G.988. And I'll see about adding that in a future request, just so that we don't have to worry, an ONU comes out and actually supports that extra table, so.
Okay, sounds good. So the next steps are for you to push a patch on the OMCI libgo generator to fix this. To improve it.
Yeah, I think there's actually probably two ways to handle this. First, I'd like to, besides the ONU, the one attribute or one ME that had the bad attributes that caused the bug, there's two more within that same grouping. It also has a bug which are OLT generated, so they're not as concerned. I like to push those as, push that as one patch to fix the bug.
Mm-hmm.
And then, once that's accepted and working, I've actually added support for all the extended message types. And I've broken in the OMCLib library, there's a message types.go, which basically has all the decode in it. And I've broken those down into individual files. I just basically got the unit test working and then broke the files up, and also the unit test files. So there's a lot smaller files instead of one large file. And that's helped me. And that's helped me look at the unit test coverage. So I've got all but one file is over 75% unit test coverage. So I'd like to push that as a separate release, because that way the OpenONU adapter can consume that new release whenever it's ready to or wants to.
Sounds good. I guess a two-step approach is then the best choice. Yes. Sounds good to me. The two OLT generated ones, should we take any action on them, Grish?
The OLT is not actually, I'm not familiar about other OLTs, but the val is not going to create any OMCI MEs on the ONU, as far as I know. All the OMCI stuff is done from the adapter. Probably that's applicable to other OLTs, which, yeah.
Yeah, the OLT created ones are actually the OpenONU device adapter, because it behaves as the OLT's OMCI stack. And so right now, no operators has requested the support for Y.1731 or 802.1AG.
Yeah.
I have seen requests for that on RFPs for other operators, not outside of the Volta world. So, but I would be surprised if that came to as a Volta requirement within this year.
Okay, right. I think we can. I think it's good to fix them, but it's just we have to take there's no more action we need to do.
Yeah. I think fixing them, just fixing the bug before anyone sees it is a smart thing to do.
Yep. Perfect. Okay. So I guess we'll wait for your two patches and integrate the first one. And then whenever we're ready for the second one, we actually go ahead and have the second one. So just let us know whenever those are up for review. Okay. As usual. We can take a look at them and make sure that they are integrated with the adapter.
Okay. And I should have had first one should be this week. So.
Oh, nice. Okay. Good. Okay. Michael Holger, any comment for Chip on this one?
No, it's what we were discussing so far. So it's a good summary.
I want to add something else. We try Chip's solution, and it's working for us.
Great. Perfect. Then, yeah, as soon as Chip has the fixes, we're gonna just merge them and then go proceed for using them. Okay, perfect. Thanks. Okay, A couple more things. One is on the logging front. Holger was trying to check a few things in relation to the packages for one of the efforts that we are trying to do within 2.9, which is refactoring the code so it has more modular. There were some issues in showing the packages, and the outcome was that you kind of need to set the KV store prefix because the log settings are stored in a TCD so that they can be fetched upon restart. So there's an ongoing discussion on Slack about this, and we're going to just finish it up over there, and so that Holger can then proceed with taking a look at how other components are done. For example, the core OLT adapter, and in that way make changes to the existing adapter or new adapter for getting better logs.
One add-on to this environment variable. Actually, this should be described somewhere, because this was not the KV store prefix, but the KV store data path prefix. But you have to know this. It's some kind of insider knowledge. So somebody who's trying this with vault control will only get an empty output and no hint that these environment variables are not set. I don't know if it would be possible to give a hint from vault control or so that you have to configure something. Otherwise, you would see nothing. And actually, it is also not really transparent that you need to set the KV store prefix to show them the packages. You know that is you have to know that you have to do this, but it's not described somewhere.
Okay. I'll take an action item on myself to create some documentation, at least some documentation, but also check if VoltCTL could return some checks. Could do some check and then return some error message if something goes wrong. I can take care of that.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. Okay, on the software upgrade, on the testing, I know that Holger, before going on vacation, he's on vacation right now, managed to do the tests for all the software upgrades that we found, the issues that Michael described before. So thanks a lot to Torsten for doing those, and those helped fix getting the fixes inside that Michael is working on. Any other comments on the tests? I have no other update.
Actually, from my side, actually not specifically the test, but for the software upgrade issue, wouldn't it be a good idea to have some status output in Vault control to see how the percentage of already loaded images, because it takes a lot of time, and probably the user will check in between how many percent of the image of the ONU image is already loaded. What do you think about this?
It would be good. I don't know how easy it is. I'm not sure how easy it is to implement that.
Actually, the data should be present, right, Michael?
More or less. Of course, you know how many segments you have sent already, and maybe not directly in code, but indirectly based on some 2 or 3 indications that are available. But yeah, basically it should be not a big issue to make such a at least estimation.
At least it would increase the transparency of this download process, I think.
Okay, I think it's a good add.
Sorry, Andre. A question here.
Yeah.
Are we talking about the say, live percentage of the downloaded parts? I mean, is it a use case for that users, watch the amount of the segments that downloaded?
I guess I don't particularly care about it, but it seems that it would be useful given that the OMCI transfer, it takes quite a bit to actually have this information. But yes, we're talking not about the download from the outside server, which we expect to be fairly fast, but actually the download to the ONU.
I think that's 12.
Okay, but
at the moment,
in real time,
10 minutes.
in real time, when the software is downloaded to ONU, we want to see the percentage that it's downloaded. I mean, in real time. Is that the issue you're talking about, or we're talking about the an offline view of percentage? I mean, you try to download an image to ONU, but it's failed at the 60%, and you want to see it.
No, it's some kind of because it lasts up to 10 minutes, I think, to download the image via OpenCI to the ONU, and probably somebody wants to check in between how fast or how long it take or still takes, or you could also see if there are problems in downloading.
Okay, I'm asking this because I mean, the most of the use cases I saw in the operator are offline downloads. I mean, they trigger a job for the evening or night for number of ONUs, say 10 ONUs, 100 ONUs, and the job is triggered by the system like a cron job, and so there's nobody on the system that check the downloaded amount of the each unit or ONU. So I'm asking this, if there's a case your use case, or not.
There's probably more use case for the developer or for the tester who's doing this online for testing purpose, and he gets unsecure if there's still something happening.
Okay, I see.
Probably not. Yeah.
So I think this is not a very high priority item, but it's a good to have, but not as a high priority item. I would say put it as future and don't work on it for now. We have other major items to fix.
So put it on the wish list, right?
Yeah, exactly. Create a Jira, doesn't hurt. Create a Jira, doesn't hurt. Put it on so we keep track of it. But it's as I said, fairly low priority for me.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay. So that was the last topic I had for the day. But I'm just going to open up the discussion. Is there anything else that you guys want to bring up? Is there anything that needs to be discussed with the group?
Andrea, back in the Volta 2.8, we created a Jira task about responding failure or success to flow-wed insertions, which is, let me check, 4125. So it's labeled as feature in fixed version. I think it's an important issue. So can we check the fixed version to Volta 2.9 and put it in the agenda?
Do you mind telling me again the number? Sorry.
4125.
This one. Okay. Yeah.
This is important because in the NEM layer or ONOS layer, we don't actually know if the flow is failed or succeeded. So I think it's critical. Okay. Or can we change this fixed version to Volta 2.9?
Yeah, this needs a design discussion because right now we're doing it in an asynchronous way, meaning we send it down and that's it. And if some error arrives, we actually do handling of it at a later time. Maybe Michael, you have some thoughts on this?
No. This request is new for me, so I would want to state something here.
Oh, okay. Although it was actually discussed a couple of weeks back, maybe 3 weeks back, if you go back in the agenda. You kind of find it. Yeah, the idea was just to have a more synchronous report of the errors. But let's keep it in 2.9. Let's put it in 2.9. I think it's an important one to have. We can shelve something else for this one. We can maybe discuss it further next time. Anything else?
So there's this one Garrett review, except for the gem port and tcon deletion that we already discussed concerning the reconcile treatment, which is open. So it's under code review +2, but it's not yet merged. So please don't forget to merge that as well.
Let me check. Is it from you?
It's concerning the Jira vol 4266. There you also have both Garrett reviews for the latest release 2.9 and 2.8 changes.
Is it not merged?
At least one. I got the response. You got no responses for that is merged for master or 2.8?
I got no responses. So it's again an email issue, yes.
Yeah, actually it could be an email issue again.
It is merged, Michael. I see nothing. I see nothing from you, which is open. So.
Yes, I can see it. It's merged. Sorry.
The strange thing is that I received both of the merged confirmations, so that this seems to be a very sporadic issue.
Guys, I really have no idea. The best is we have the thread with Zach and Hangwei, and that's the best I can do. Sorry. Okay. One small last thing. I'm gonna be on vacation the next 2 weeks, so Grish will hold the meeting in my stead, and nothing changes. Just I'm not gonna be here. Please keep in mind that I'm gonna be on vacation for the next 2 weeks, and if you have some questions, some things that you would like to discuss, ping Girish, ping Theo, or if it's urgent and it's in a more European time frame, Hardik might also be pinged. Do it on Slack. They usually tend to respond fairly fast. So I'm gonna have my break for the summer. Okay. Anything else, guys?
I think from my side, have a good vacation.
Yeah, for me too.
Thanks, guys. Thanks all. Okay, then let's keep the discussion for all the elements and create the JIRAs and do the action items we took from the day. Let's keep up the good work and let's talk again next week. And I'll see you in 3 weeks. So have a great couple of weeks. Cheers. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.